Have you ever had a Coca-Cola product? I'm sure that at one point in your life you had either seen or had a Coca-Cola product. This is a product that has been in existence for over a century. Coca-Cola is about 133 years old. That's a long time to be alive and still remain relevant. Why is this? This is not due to luck or great marketing strategy, which I believe they do. And by the way, this is not a Coca-Cola ad. But this is as a result of a great tool which they have learned how to harness and make use to their benefits, which is intellectual property protection. Hi there, it's Ayomide here and you're welcome to my channel. If this is your first time coming across my face, you are very welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, you are the real G. Now let's get straight into today's video. Intellectual property is simply defined as the creation of the mind, which is anything that is an expression of your ideas. It is always good to have ideas, but then ideas cannot be protected, and that is why I refer to it as an expression of your ideas. So it can range from literary works to musical works to photography to writing to anything. It could even be software. These are all intellectual properties. Look at it as this. You own a property, right? But this property is an invisible property, and this is what intellectual property is. Now that we are all clear on what IP is, I'll be moving to the three main characteristics of IPRs. And IPR simply means intellectual property rights, meaning the rights that ensue from owning an IP. Intellectual property rights or intellectual properties are territorial in nature, which means that they can only be enforced or they can only be valid in the country in which they have been registered. For instance, I register a trademark in Nigeria and there is an infringement of my trademark in the United States or the United Kingdom. I cannot enforce my rights in those countries because I have not registered them in those countries. There are definitely exceptions to this general rule, but for the purpose of this video, we would stick to the general rule. If you'd like to know more about the exceptions, leave a comment in the comment section. Another characteristic is that intellectual property rights are temporary, which means that most intellectual property rights have an expiration date. Yes, this may be a bit underwhelming, but here's the good news. You can always renew some of your intellectual property rights.
Are you serious?
Yes. So in this instance, you would not exactly term them as temporary, depending on the types of intellectual property you own or you have intentions of owning. In subsequent videos, I'll be showing you more about intellectual property and the types that you can renew and the requirements for such renewal. The third basic characteristic is that it is monopolistic in nature, which means that you have exclusive right over it. I'm sure you like the sound of this. Yes, I do as well, because that means I can do anything with respect to my intellectual property rights. Absolutely. But also remember, to every general rule, there is an exception. To the big question, why then do I need intellectual property protection? If it is temporary, if it is territorial, and if it is monopolistic.
Okay, pay attention because I'm only going to go over this 10 more times.
The first reason why you need intellectual property protection is to help you establish a clear legal identity with respect to your products or services. I am sure that you are aware that you are not the only one rendering the services or products that you are manufacturing. And this is why you need IP protection, because your business name, your brand, your slogan, even the designs for your products are all a part of your identity. And you need to be able to distinguish your identity from that of the others. And this is why you need intellectual property protection. Another reason why you need intellectual property protection is because it reduces the risk of infringement. Both online and in commercial space in general, there will always be infringers. There will always be people that want to do the same thing that you do, sell the same products that you sell. And this is why the protection is important, because you have a legal ground of contesting such infringements. So you can prove in court and say that, oh, because I registered my intellectual property with respect to this particular service or product, then I have a right over this product. And this person who is coming to do the exact same thing I am doing is infringing on my property.
You stole my watch!
So this way you can stop unauthorized copying or unauthorized usage of your products or services just because you did something. You protected your property.
Oh my God!
Do you know that you can actually make money off your intellectual property? IPRs are not just assets that can be owned. Like every other asset, they can also be leveraged into making cool cash. I think this is one bit that a lot of people do not know. It is not just enough for you to establish identity or prevent people from infringing on your property. You can actually make money off IP. I know some people that this is what they do for a living. They literally would create a work. They still have ownership with respect to the particular property, but they just license it for a specific duration of time. The same thing you would do with your property. You could sublet a property. Exactly. And that's the thing about IP. So you could do licensing, you could sell merch, you could even outrightly sell it to another person. Another reason why you need IP protection is that it enhances brand credibility and market position. So if you are a small business owner or content creator and you are serious about whatever it is you are doing, you know what you should do. You should start the process of registering your IP, because this literally shows that your brand is credible and it opens you to many more opportunities. You know, some brands would not work with you if you do not have certain basic registrations, and one of such basic registration is your IP registration. You know, you can have partnerships, work with more brands, you can have sponsors, and you know, it basically just shows that you are ready for a long-term career and that you are ready for growth. The last reason I'll be discussing is that it protects the result of your creativity and innovation. As a creative myself, I understand the hard work and labor that goes into churning out creative and original works. And I know how saddening it can be when you realize that your work could be or is being exploited. This is particularly for SMEs and startups that are scared of approaching investors because they believe that they would be exploited. As long as you have validly registered your intellectual property, you should not be scared to approach investors. They are there to help you. They are there to make sure that you grow. And this is why I would keep reiterating that you should ensure that you do all the proper registrations, particularly your intellectual property registration, because it is your brainchild. It is the essence of your business. It is the essence of your startup. And without this, there would be no business. Ideas may be brilliant and good, but remember that ideas alone will not change the world or make you cool cash. Maybe what's stopping you from being the next Elon Musk is the protection of the expression of your idea. Thank you for staying till the end of this video. You know what to do now. Like, share, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. Can't wait to see you next. Bye-bye.